YouTube. Live chat. There's the alert that I'm live. So I'll turn on my do not disturb. And let's do content. Man, Lieberman is just like death warmed over. Morning, Nevin. Wah, wah, wah. Let me see. More on Franklin. Ecolabs reports. Moody's underwhelms after disappointing earnings. Morning, Mike. Morning, Scott. Biogen slips. Datadog stock falls. Krispy Kreme drops. Ooh. I must not be going to Krispy Kreme enough. Man, is Fang going up again? Whew. Moody's. I'm looking for the Shopify, by the way. Fucking buy it. I have no idea what the street's looking for, but that was a great quarter. I'm looking for the biggest movers of the day in the news because I didn't see it. I don't see it. Coke. I probably should. Yeah. This is probably good. We're going to put in Coke earnings. Because I still own a lot of Coke. Whoop, whoop. Oh, I don't want that. I don't even know how the hell I did that. No. Huh. I don't even know how I did that. Wow. The full screen like that. Shopify and charts, Coca-Cola. See. CrowdStrike will have their AI moment. Oh. Interesting. I like that. I mean, the summary seems good. Joe Lieberman just looks. Yeah, I mean, Shopify just... Here's the thing. Shopify, by the way, I'm looking at that as Beamer. This one's flying again. In pre-market, it's up 41%. 41% in pre-market. This is the one yesterday that was up 1,500%. This one's going nuts. I mean, look at that. That's 876. This was 7 o'clock when the news came out. By the way, I was on air at about 8:30 where it was at $4. I said it had confirmation. If you just traded this on confirmation, look, right above that 9-day, you made 800%. Right now, let's see. We're going to look. It's above there. I mean, put $20 in this one. Shit, if I had any money in my freaking Webull account, I would. I don't have any money in my Webull account. Damn. But Shopify, I mean, it's in the core portfolio. It's at 81. It doesn't have confirmation right now. So I would, Mike, to be honest with you, I'd probably pick some. I don't think you're. Here's the thing that you know about Shopify is it's got 100 in the stock. As long as they continue on this path, at some point in time, this is a $100 stock. The other thing that you know about Shopify is sorry, I'm just looking at stuff. Is they're clicking on all cylinders. I mean, that was a great report. I think it's just people taking profits. And so I think you get back up there. And the 4 hour, I think there's a buy of 81 in the 4 hour, 84, and you're trading at 81. So, and the algorithm makes you 29% versus just 3% buying and holding over 2 years. Your average win is 10%. So you win 48% of the time. So even at 84, even if you bought it at 84 thinking, oh my God, I'm going to make a killing on this one. I said there was a little bit of a button hook there. I was a little bit nervous. I did not get rid of it. I am adding to this. So 100%, I don't think there's a reason. The gap here at 63, in my mind, kind of irrelevant. You can see if we bring the volume back to the last earnings, I don't do this on the podcast too, but this shelf at 72 to 73, probably providing significant support. Right now you're at 81. I would think anything in the 70s. Solid buy in the 70s. Let me go and see if it's promoting me live to myself as a subscriber. The trading triangle. Oh, that's Nate. Let me see. Oh, 23 hours ago. Home. No. Do I have to actually close this down? Motherfucker. Let's see. There we go. CPI. Ooh, daddy gets paid. Daddy gets some money. Money. Now I got to skip. I got 2 ads. Whoop, whoop. I just made a half a penny. I should have this light a little bit better. God, I look like I got Grecian formula on my hair. I swear I'm gray. Close up, I got gray highlights, and there's no dye in this hair whatsoever. But man, I look douchey. Okay, let's do some scans because I got to get out of here. I've got an 11:30 vet appointment for the puppies. Bank of America. It's down 0.09, but let's see if there's anything brokerage holdings wise that I've got. I do have I own Bank of America. Why is it not showing up in there? I don't think my lists are set up or updated. Energy names. Arch. SLB. I need to set up my favorites among industries. Ooh. UVIX, SDOW, NVDS, UVIXI, and DPST. Wow. UVIXI at 745. The VIX, maybe it's going to get a little thing. This is short NVIDIA. I still wouldn't do it. And DPST, that's got a nice little hook on it. Levered ETFs, low cost, Vanguard, VYM. Let's see the spider sectors. XLU. Let's see my not owned list. There's usually a bunch in here. Maybe not. Shopify down 10%. Amazon down 1.3. Google down 1. Coke up 1. Coke is over 60. Microsoft down 1. Palantir down 2. Even though that one soared a little bit yesterday, it's $24. Roblox down 1. Shopify, like I said. Wow, Q's is down 1.27. That's a lot. Oh, CPI just came out. That's why. Uber's down at 68. I got to look at Seeking Alpha News. Annaly Capital. This is a REIT. Probably not bad. Rocket Mortgage. That's an interesting one because I think Cisco has a cross up. PFF, which I think PFF is done. I'm not even going to put it in. Okay, let's look at the Dow. Oh, that's why inflation's stronger. 0.4 versus 0.3 estimate. Ooh. You know, one of these days I'm going to put an Easter egg in the newsletters just to see if people are reading it. Dude, this energy company has not been great. Electric power. There's a consistency in the NASDAQ 100 as to the sectors that seem to be going up. Let's look at the S&P. Yeah, everything's getting killed. Because inflation is up. Yeah. So that's the story. Let's go to Seeking Alpha. This is the story of the day. Okay. And with that, I am going to by the way, look how big my nose looks in that photo. I took it with a wide angle lens. Okay. Is this relevant anymore? Yeah, I guess. Okay. I'm going to open from the bottom up. Crowd analysis. Hood. Innovating like I haven't seen. Robinhood. I gotta pause this. That's a good one. Coke earnings. Datadog earnings. Arista Network earnings. Shopify earnings. ARM Holdings jump. That's a great article. We're going to look at this one. And then I want to move this over there. And then I don't know how I'm going to... Oh. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to copy. We're going to post this in Facebook so I can show it. Post. So we'll look at that one. CPI, it wasn't that much. I mean, it's 0.4 versus 0.3, but the problem is and then this one, Coca-Cola, inflation, we're moving this one over here. Okay. We're going to go to the 4 hour. Got it. Oh. What? I need to log myself back in. Hopefully I didn't lose my 4 hour strategy. Nope. There we go. QQQ. Man, the market just took a huge turn back with that CPI data. Okay, let me put this on so I don't yell. That's what the headphones are for, so I don't yell. Okay. Okay, I'm going to get started here. Here's the Qs. Good morning. It's Tuesday, February 13th. There's no love in the market today. Just to get it out of the way before we look at charts, CPI just came out. It's about 839 right now. CPI came out. January Consumer Price Index, 0.3 versus 0.2. Some are reporting that it's 0.4. The core CPI, yeah, that's what it is, which excludes food and energy, 0.4 versus 0.3. That's a little bit harder and hotter. So the explanation, just from a dummy and a douche on the internet point of view, is that inflation is not under control. That takes March completely off the table. That tells Jay Powell, no, you're not going to reduce rates in March. Even though he's signaled he won't, there was still this kind of hope. And the market's been running kind of like it thinks that, hey, it's going to go down. So they've really started moving down. Twilio, by the way, which I've been looking to own, is back under 70. That is part of the Alpha Pix stock. If you didn't know, Alpha Pix is on sale. Ends tomorrow at $89. Remember, and I'll post this in the newsletter as well, it goes up to $499. So that $199 will go to $499, and it's based on the performance of 105% Alpha Pix versus the same time. Performance from July 1st, 2022 to February 11th, 2024. How do you get Alpha Pix? Well, you go over to my link tree. It's the third one. And again, it's $89 for the first year. That performance is unbelievable. It comes with all of the analysis of these stocks that they pick. They tell you when to sell. They tell you when to buy. It's not for a day trader because it is typically a long-term buy and hold strategy. So yeah, I told some people in the Facebook group who play options, probably not your thing. But again, this is going to be just the theme of the day is, hey, inflation is running hotter than we expected. QQQ was down almost 1.9% at the initial thing. It's recovered a little bit to down only 1.5%. But understand, we're at all-time highs here. And so that turnaround can be quick. It can be violent. It can be instantly. The RSI, we're overbought on many, many stocks. So understand that just this trigger of inflation could move this market in the direction of down. So, yeah, kind of an interesting one. We talked about BMR yesterday having a deal with NVIDIA and that moving. BMR is up another 400%. And I wanted to show you how you would trade this one. And in the after hours yesterday, I was on air about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And if we look at this, I'm going to go to after a 5-minute chart, and I'm going to show extended hours because I want to show you how you would trade this one just on a 5-minute chart, how I kind of would trade it if I wasn't on air, if I wasn't doing this. You can see here, if we pull this back a little bit, this is from 7 o'clock when the news came out. You had an 876% gain. You had a 1,500% gain if you had bought it prior to this, but who the hell is buying BMR prior to this? But this 9-day, this green, that green line, and what we talk about confirmation above there, if you don't know what confirmation is, go over here. This is my Daily Stock Pick newsletter, dailystockpick.substack.com. Go to the Education Center and just go down to the bottom, confirmation, button hook, algorithm. What do these terms mean? Plus the indicators that I use. There's 4 parts to that series. But this, for those of you that have read it, you have confirmation right there. It's above that 9-day. So confirmation, and then you get below it. You don't have any more confirmation. You're below it, so you don't get it. When do you get it? You could have gotten it right here, but it wasn't great confirmation. 1193 to 16, confirmation. That's a big, big move. That's like a 50% move right there. Let's track it a little bit. If you bought this right here, say 12, because it got over 30% before it lost its confirmation, and it got back down under. Now today, you can take a look at these 5-minute candles right now. We gained confirmation right here. Say you bought it in the middle of this at 13. You're at 18 right now, 40 minutes. Well, even less than that, 30 minutes. And you've got 16%. So this is the kind of stock, if you're going to day trade and you're going to use that type of stuff, this is the type of stock that you want to look at. There's another one that's moving today too, and my autocorrect kept moving me to OMG. It's OMH. And so if we move to a 5-minute, and I just saw it, if we move to a 5-minute, and all of this, by the way, does happen in pre-market. Now, it's mostly low float stocks, so you're having some problems completing that transaction. But once you have confirmation on these things, they move very, very quickly. say you get here and you get confirmation here. Well, you're up, what, 142%? Who cares if you get out here, when it touched and you're up 100%. But again, they move super, super quickly. Now, divergence, another thing that's in the education series, divergence here, you can see we've got a reducing right there. And where's the stock price going? Well, it's kind of moving sideways. So a little bit of a divergence there. Probably a good one. OMH is that symbol. But BMR, remember, they are. This one may still move to 28. It was yesterday. It was up 370%. So yeah, great one. I wanted to talk about a great email that I got yesterday. An email from a person who will remain anonymous because I'm not sure they want their name out there. But thanks for everything you do. By the way, I love your advertisements. They come with affiliate price reductions to save me money and give me a chance to use superior charting tools. This is not a friend. This is not my girlfriend writing this. This is not, my parents writing this. They're not a family member. This is just somebody in the audience. I got him TrendSpider last year for $250. That's $643 a year savings at the current 50% off. It's already paid for itself. Seeking Alpha, $10 deduction, but the information they provide on the phone app is overwhelming in a good way. Alpha picks today, 55% off. Plan to use this for the 401k long-term and the paid newsletter. Those are the things that I show. And this particular person found it super, super helpful. So we will remain with those things. The other thing I want to point out is how cool is Webull? Look at the alerts that I got this morning. TQQQ, 52-week high. GPS, up 5%. That's gap. IONQ, up 5%. SMCI, up 5%. Snap, up 5%. SMCI, 52-week high. NVIDIA, 52-week high. All of these it was great to wake up to this. I really, really do like Webull. If you want Webull, I've got a link down there in the link tree. I think it's the 4th or 5th link in the link tree. Let's see. It's right here. Yeah, 4th link. 4th link is there, and I put the newsletter down below it. But I really, really do like Webull. So those alerts just fantastic. After CPI, the major rallies, indices took a breather yesterday. Sectorially, the action was quite mixed with strength in energy, utilities, and financials, getting offset by weakness in technology, real estate, and select consumer discretionary stocks. We were looking at QQQ. It's up down 1.64. In my mind, we wind up down today. It's just, this is a buying opportunity, and you'll see it in a couple of things that I go over, but this is a buying opportunity. This particular one, Seeking Alpha, if you want Seeking Alpha Premium, this is what happens when you get Seeking Alpha Premium. You get nice alerts like this. Tech and communication stocks, the latest quant stock strong buys. Snowflake, Zscaler, Path, GitLab, Cloudflare. Monday, which just had earnings and dropped. It's still a strong one. Atlassian with his team, Shopify. So those are stocks that it told me that, hey, you want it today. Now, IWM made quite a move yesterday. I said I didn't like small caps yesterday in the afternoon. We got a cross up here at 196. Boy, are you happy if you bought at 196 because you're up a couple of percent. Now, in pre-market, you are down back at, let's see, 197. You're down 2.69. So as this indices moved, it just moved right back. And we can take a look at the seasonality because this is what we were looking at yesterday. Seasonality of this week, you're up 85% of the time. So what my plan would be, and what I might do, is I may take one of these triple levered IWM, small cap Russell 2000 ETFs, and I might buy one when it's down today 6 or 7%. That might not be a bad play. Honest to God, if you're up 85% of the time on this now, 85% of the time, we don't have 50 and 60 and 70 and 80% rallies going into this. Because look at where you are from down here in October. You're up, just say you get down here, you're up 20% in indices. So I don't, again, I would be looking at that 196, 197, probably 192 as support level. But in my mind, I think the upside is good. If you can get one of those triple levered ETFs, I don't think it's a bad one. I don't think it's a bad one at all. I think it's good. ARM surged again. And ARM right now, it surged. What I want to point out to everybody is there were some people that saying, hey, ARM's a great one. It's good. It's down 10% right now in pre-market. It's an overreaction to earnings. And I want you to be very careful with ARM. And part of the reason, and I'll put this article in the newsletter, part of the reason is the issue of ownership. And if you go down here and you look at ARM, this story points it out that ARM's market cap has now reached $141 billion. Remember, NVIDIA offered to pay, I think, $10 billion for this company, and they had accepted the offer, but they couldn't get it through regulatory, so they pulled back. Although there seems there has been some type of short covering, the primary reason for the stock move is long buying. And if we go to Seeking Alpha and we look at ARM, I want to show you what you can use Seeking Alpha for when you see stuff like this. Because part of the story on ARM is that it's got a super small percentage of stock out there compared to its overall stock. And the ownership is what I want to point out to you. Institutions, this is 7% of the outstanding shares, okay? That yellow line right there, that's corporations. That is SoftBank. They own 90%, okay? Part of this article points out that they are locked up until March 12th. They are locked up so they can't sell anything until March 12th. When March 12th happens, if you see this stock at 140, at 150, get ready for just an onslaught of stock selling from SoftBank. I don't think that they hold on to 90% of the stock. It's this is the kind 77 million is out there. 7% of the float. 7% of the float. 90% is still locked up. So get ready. This is one that I personally don't want to play with. I did a little more research into it. I just don't want to play with it at this point. I don't want to short it because the short interest is 9.62. As that creeps up a little bit, this might get into a short squeeze because until March 12th, you don't have enough shares out there. But if this does get into a short squeeze, just expect SoftBank to unload this stock and get it back down to 50. You don't go from that type of market cap. This isn't an NVIDIA. This isn't a hardware player. These guys, again, it's a very, very good stock to be in. Just be careful. The ownership is what you really want to be careful of. So I'll include both of those articles, both of those charts in the newsletter. Shopify, it released earnings. This is one that an overreaction. They beat. It's at 77 right now. It's down 12%. The sell-off on this one is a buying opportunity. Narrow earnings beat. Yeah, they were priced to perfection. It's a narrow earnings beat. I want you to buy this one on its retreat, because what I want to show you is it's not unheard of for this one to actually retreat like this. It's at 77. So where are we at 77? We just broke that 200-day. You're under that 200-day, but your 50-day is still going to move positive. You're going to have a huge weekly candle on this one. That's going to go down. I want you to buy it under its 200-day. I want you to hold this one under its 200-day. If we look at Shopify here on FinViz, because most people have FinViz and they can look at it, that's why I use it. And for many years, I used FinViz and Seeking Alpha free. I didn't always have Seeking Alpha Premium. It just bumped up my knowledge a little bit. But forward PE on Shopify, 82. It will come down because they actually did beat. It will come down to probably a 70 level. Still expensive. Still super expensive. The 52-week range between 39 and 91. You ain't coming back down to that 32. You're probably bottoming out at the 70s. A 7 handle is a good one on this one. It's not a great handle. 5 and 6 were much, much better. We were buying at 5 and 6. Wasn't comfortable, but we were buying at 5 and 6. Those of us that wanted it were buying at 5 and 6. This is just, I'll include this in the newsletter. It significantly. Here's the quote. As we look ahead to 2024, our focus remains on driving innovation in an ever-evolving commerce landscape, delivering products that will propel our merchants' businesses forward with the support of our world-class talent and our valued merchants and partners. This was just a great quarter. I mean, it wasn't as strong as people wanted, but it shows e-commerce is still strong. That's the key. Arista Networks, this is another one. We buy on weakness. Arista Networks in pre-market, let me see. Let's take a look. In pre-market, you're down another 9% to 255. You buy this one. You buy this one on weakness. The earnings, strong guidance. I don't know why this one's down other than it was, priced to perfection. This is another one, priced to perfection. Remember, the market is priced to perfection. So on these ones that actually beat, you want to buy. Look at going into earnings, it was down. You want to buy on confirmation. You don't want to just take it out. Go into a 5-minute chart. Buy it when there's an entry on confirmation on the 5-minute chart. So you want the market to open, and then you want to buy it. This is going to be a tough day. But what I want you to do is start entering some of these names that have had good earnings with good companies, with good management and good products. I want you to start entering those. ANET is an expensive one. We looked at Shopify here. Their forward PE is 82. The forward PE of this one is 33. And it's a computer hardware company. You want to get into this one. It's not the next SMCI. This one is not going to $800. But it could go to, 300. Let's see. The target price, 292. January 8th, hold to buy. Look at this one. December 14th, reiterated, buy. They moved it to 300. So as this one moves down to 250, I want you to buy it. I think it's a good opportunity. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to put some of my cash to work. This isn't the bubble. It's not a 1-day pullback that we're going to see. This is probably a 2 to 3 day pullback. So I don't want you to go all in. Just put the tip in a little. That's it. Tickle the feather. Tickle it. Don't throw it all in there. You don't go balls deep on the first day. First date. I like that one. But yeah, Arista Networks, solid earnings, solid guidance. I think you go in on that one. Datadog falls as full year forecast. This is one that I think other people have asked me about. This is one that I would play a little bit more carefully. Full year forecast disappoints. Now, it's a database company. It's a software company, so they do have great margins. This was one that was priced for perfection. It is down 6% in the pre-market, 126, which brings you down to about this shelf right here. Again, it's pulled back to before its last earnings where it gapped up. This was priced to perfection. If you're looking at Datadog, I would probably look at about 100 or so. Let's take a look at some of the financials on this one. Datadog, forward PE of 76. Again, it's expensive. And they didn't guide forward as good as Applied Network, ANET. As far as Shopify. They didn't guide well. So I don't know if they're sandbagging, who knows, but you're 2% off your 52-week high. Your average target price, 134. Most recently, 140, and you're trading at 127. If you like the company, put the tip in. Just put the tip in. But Datadog, you can find more information there. Coke smashes organic sales expectations, sees stronger growth than Pepsi. Coke is in the core portfolio. I believe I was going to take it out. It's still in there. I'm still debating, do I take it out? It's just under 60, buy it. Over 60, and it's at $60.40. You can sell it. I mean, honest to God, if you buy this at 58 and you sell it at 60, don't be, 2 weeks, 10 weeks later, don't be disappointed. It's got a good, good dividend to keep you happy. 1 point something. 1.79, 1.84 dividend forward, trailing month. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's just, 52, you're 8% off your 52-week high of 64. It's just going to flutter around that $60 point. Year to date, you're up 1.31%. This isn't a name that you're going to trade and make a ton on. But if you want to trade, get in there. I mean, that's a good one. This was a great, where is it? Oh, I guess here it is. We're going to move this over here. Stock Twits on Threads. For those of you that are anti-Elon, you can use Threads. I still use both. I like both of them. I think they're pretty similar, to be honest with you. Companies that doubled their market cap in the last year. Here's all of them. DoorDash, AMD, Uber, New Holdings, Nutanix, Eli, Arista Networks, TKO, PanW, Broadcom, MongoDB, Coinbase, Meta, AppLovin, DraftKings, CrowdStrike, Palantir, NVIDIA, Affirm. All of these names are names that have at least doubled their market cap in the last year, with a market cap of $10 billion at least. That's what you want to look at. Again, that's what you want to look at. You want to look at stocks that have the opportunity to double like that. One that has doubled in a long time, NVIDIA. Look at that, 2010. If you put $10,000 in, what would you have today? $1.3 million. This is similar to Apple. It's similar to Netflix. It's similar to Amazon. It's similar to a lot of companies. Tesla. I think Tesla, if you had put $10,000 in 2014, you were a millionaire by 2018. So understand there are places where you can put money into good companies with good products, with good management. It's super hard to find. But what you want to do when you're younger is take 5% of your total portfolio, and you want to put it into some names that you think are moonshots. Doesn't mean they have to make a ton of money. NVIDIA wasn't making a ton of money in January 2010, but Jensen Huang had this idea that we could take, rather than a CPU, we could take the graphics card and make it separate into a GPU, and boom, it took off because gaming and stuff like that needed GPUs. So yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, Robinhood. I want to point this out to you. This is a good one. This is a great interview with Tom Lee. Fundstrat. He doesn't think that the NVIDIA stuff is a bubble. So he says it's not a bubble. It's just a good company. There's real demand. So again, that points out well. Doesn't point out great today. Let's see. NVIDIA is down 2%. SMCI is down 2%. They're not getting killed like the rest of it because, again, it's demand. Tom Lee says it's demand. There's demand out there. And Jensen Huang, just so we're all aware of this, Jensen Huang is on a world tour right now, speaking at conferences and with world leaders that each country needs to develop their sovereign AI. And how are they going to do that? They're going to buy NVIDIA chips. That's the point. I don't think he'd be out there on a world tour if this crazy quarter wasn't going to absolutely kill it. So it's priced to perfection. Understand at $700, it's priced to perfection. Do I want you to buy it here? If you're long-term and you're just going to forget about it, I don't think it's bad to buy it. Do not go balls deep. Just stick the tip in. You want $1,000 of this? Buy $100 of it today. Buy $50 of it today. That's the great thing about fractional shares. I bash Robinhood a lot. I got to say, I saw this tweet last night. Robinhood just added a bunch of new features for each stock. It's so cool, and it's an example of it using Palantir. So here's what Robinhood did, and I might have to put a money into Robinhood. To be perfectly honest with you, I might have to do it. I have gotten good feedback that getting money out of Robinhood is not as hard as it used to be. So maybe we switch to Robinhood. Maybe we have a Robinhood account this year. It's February, so maybe I put $1,000 into Robinhood and I try and build that one up. But Robinhood, for Palantir, it's using buying versus selling on the app. This is just their data. And so they're giving it to you real time. That's what's nice about this, is you can see how many people are actually net buying versus net selling. That's a tool. Again, it's all about information when you're buying stocks, when you're day trading, when you're using some of these things. But that's a great, great tool to have. Second, what you see are what the hedgies are doing. I did not know QQQ opened up a position for 900K. You can see ARK has a position, Allen Operations, GMT, QQQ Management has an open position. Defender Capital, they buy. Bridgewater Associates. So you can see all of that in the app. Finally, you can see insider sales. That's kind of, that was always there. We see that on FinViz. It's nothing new, but it's nice to see it in an app. So I don't know that I'm necessarily getting all on Robinhood, but I have been hearing better things. does point out, hey, even an old dog can get taught new tricks. I saw a great article in Seeking Alpha about CrowdStrike. And it likens, you can go down here to the conclusion, technical trading. They give that. This is more of the what you get with Seeking Alpha Premium is this kind of stuff. It's not all, hey, I want you to buy this one. It is solid fundamental analysis. And what this particular author thinks is they're going to have their AI moment, which means CrowdStrike with all of the CIO spending that's going to go on, this will grow just like others. Now, Crowd ratings, Seeking Alpha analysts hold. Wall Street strong buy. Quant says hold. It's ranked 10 out of 46 in their industry. Number 1 is Path. Number 2, Zscaler. GitLab, Monday, 10AB. These are software stocks. So Cyber, Frog, we went over yesterday. Microsoft, big fan. Crowd right there. Sentinel, Palo Alto Networks, I own. ServiceNow, I think it's a great company. So this is Oracle at 20. I mean, again, you want to take a look at some of these names. This is why I like Seeking Alpha, is you can just go down that rabbit hole. Okay. Ted, what are your thoughts on trading Datadog into earnings? Also, what's your thoughts on Mara for the coming week? Many thanks. Kelsey needs some anger management. So here we go. Datadog we went over. I'm a fan of Datadog. I don't use their products, but everybody's written me about Datadog that listens to this podcast has commended Datadog. It's a database. And they like it. It's 18 out of 90. The quant has it as a buy. The valuation is what you're getting killed with. And it's down 8%. If you wanted to buy this before earnings at 135, Ted, then you're going to love it at 125. That's what I think about it. Mara's one that you want to trade on Bitcoin. Bitcoin crossed 50,000 yesterday, and that's why Mara's been going nuts. Now you can see from Seeking Alpha, valuation D, growth B minus, profitability. This is one you trade. It is down 7%. It was up 14% yesterday. This is going to go down because the market is going to take it down. The valuation, you don't want to own. I own this one, and I'm sitting there on it probably at about $26 or something. In pre-market, you're at $25. I'm probably just going to add more to it. I think about 100 shares of this. So I don't have for me, that's not a lot. $2,700, and it's not a flex. It's just saying that's a stock that I could easily forget about in my portfolio. Easily forget about in my portfolio. I think you trade this with Bitcoin. I think you trade it. If you want to trade this one, go on the 65-minute algo. Here in TrendSpider. If you don't have the 65-minute algo, I will explain it to you right now for free. This is not a shill. This is for free, me explaining this because it's out there. This is based on an 8-day EMA. Okay? The reason you have 65-minute candles is because it gives you 7 perfect candles in a trading day. And what do? When it crosses over and it closes over the 8-day EMA, you buy the stock. When the stock crosses under and closes under, you sell the stock. This is simple. It is 2 lines. The entry, 65-minute close greater than the 65-minute 8-day EMA. Okay? To get out, 65-minute close less than the 65-minute 8-day EMA. That's the simple fact. Now, how does Mara perform? 247% over 8 months. You did great if you bought and held it because you got 176%. But this is my point. This isn't hard. This is very easy. Trading doesn't need to be super, super hard. But trading on that, not bad. You can do it. The key point is you want to back test. And that's the benefit of TrendSpider is back testing. You're able to say, you know what? Does this work on this stock? Am I going to make money in the future? Do I have a chance? Well, this kind of points it out to you. On the 8-day EMA, you would have bought it right here at 17, right? You'd be up 58%. Even if you're down at $25. Say you're down at 25. Let's see, 25. You're up 48% if you bought it there. So again, the key point about trading is not, hey, do you like it? Do you want it? Something like this, you want to trade on a shorter time frame. and you find that out. Mara on the 4-hour time frame, it makes you 137%. You were in at 1650 here, but you're holding for much longer. So the assumption is if you hold for much longer, you could go down here to $9.34. It's all about time frames. So I don't know what it's going to do for the next week, but so far you've been doing well. Bisco, the thing that always keeps, Bisco is talking about energy transfer from yesterday, which was a buy in the algorithm. And he says, thing that keeps me out for energy transfer is it's a limited partnership. Taxes get messy on those pipeline companies. I hold OKE, which is one of the few that's not a limited partnership, not quite the yield. So, okay, energy transfer, we talked about it yesterday, how it's coming into earnings. The MACD is going to cross up here. You're down 0.5%. It's an energy name that has kind of held up, and it's got a huge dividend yield. So, and its earnings are coming up. And I thought maybe into an earnings play when they are going to give back a tremendous amount of shareholder gains. Now, this is natural gas. Natural gas has not performed very well. So SJ Nona wants me to look at Kava. Kava is I think it's Middle Eastern. Full disclosure, I have not eaten there. I know it's the Chipotle of healthy food kind of thing. It's very similar to Chipotle. If we want to look at Kava and Chipotle, we'll look at Kava and we'll compare it to Chipotle because I do think that they're super, super similar. Just Kava hasn't Chipotle's been out there for super, super long. You can see other people follow Sweet Greens, ARM, Bros, which is Dutch Brothers, Anon, and Toast. We can look at the peers. Let's see who they have as peers. Chipotle should be a peer, I think. But, Kava, RMK, Wendy's, Shake Shack. Yeah. So Kava, we can look at the charting over, does it beat over 1 year? It's up 22% versus the S&P up 21%. But, you really want it smaller. It's up 24% versus the S&P up 5% year to date. Summary of it, it's down 2% at 52. Wall Street says buy. The quant doesn't cover it. Seeking Alpha analysts say hold. The most recent one from January 30 is capitalizing on the Kava craze. I have not eaten there. I think it's probably expensive. We can go over here and look to FinViz and look at some of the fun. Yeah, they're losing $7 million. That's not a lot. They've got $3. They have $110 million. When they turn profitable, this company's probably going to, the stock's probably going to take off. 52-week high of 58. Now, let's see, target price 46. Most recently on January 29th, a hold, but the most recent price, December 21st, 48. And you're trading at 53. So, in my mind, I think you missed out on that run. I think it's priced to perfection. Their earnings are coming up on February 27th. Again, if they announce some type of gain, some type of positive cash flow, might be a good one to take, but I'm not willing to take. I don't eat there. If you eat there, if this is part of your daily diet routine, I'd say buy it. It's kind of like Starbucks. If you were a Starbucks user back in like the 1990s or 2000s and you bought it, you're a millionaire now. But 124731869 wants me to look at Okta. Okta's a software company. This one, I know it because we had traded it in the past. Just look at that. It's capitulating right here between, it looks like the top is about 95 or so, and the bottom is about 64. That's where you're in this trade. Its earnings are coming up. The algorithm loses you 61%. Buying and holding loses you 55%. I'm not a particular fan of this one, and the reason is because they are losing money. This is one that higher for longer does hurt. They're losing $464 million. They do have plenty of cash on hand, so they're not going to dilute shareholders. The average target price is 87, and you're trading at 85. Here in pre-market, you're at 82. If we go over to Seeking Alpha and we look at Okta, when are their earnings? Let me see when their earnings are. Their earnings are coming up February 28th. Yeah. Okay. Strong buy from the quant. It likes it. Valuation is a C-. So doesn't look bad. I don't know much about it, but it doesn't look bad. Yeah, you can kind of take a look at that one. I don't think it's horrible. But again, 4 out of 24. Let's see the top ones. Crescendo, Snowflake, I do own. Base, Snowflake, I own more. I own a bunch. Cloudflare, they just had killed it on earnings. Twilio, most recent alpha picks. And Twilio in pre-market, like I said, it's down at 69, 68. Get it while it's in the 60s. I think this is a good one to look at. Twilio, because I thought I had missed out on it. Yesterday, it ran up to 72. It was higher than what they had said. I want a 6 handle to buy it, but missed it. Therefore, I may have to wait until after earnings to buy it. I don't want to rush it because I will get into this name. That was posted in a previous newsletter. Now, the MACD is low. Here in pre-market, you are at 68, which brings you down here. If you get below 68.07, I think there's a big, volume gap down there, and you may be hitting this. They are priced to perfection. Understand they are priced to perfection. This is the problem that you have with a stock like this. I pointed this out. Look at this range. This is the range of where Twilio is pointed out to be. But with alpha picks, I'll probably take about $5,000 and put it in there. I'm going to start my portfolio using some of those alpha picks names. And I don't want to do the runners. I want to do something where they just started looking into it. So that's one where I'm going to look into. But Okta, it's been a solid, you can get into it. I don't think it's horrible. I just think, I know Twilio better. I've used Twilio's product. I haven't used Okta's product. So let's look at some scans. Bank of America. Bank of America is down 1.7%, but this one got a cross up. I would not trust cross ups, just full disclosure on the scans today, because you're going to be down, because the market is crashing down. Qs are down 1.81%. So understand today might very well be a horrific time in the market for any of the stocks that are priced to perfection. Roblox is down 4%. Shopify is down 12% at 78. I think you get it under 80. I think, we see a bounce back on this one. That quarter was really, really good. Tesla's down 2%. Taiwan Semi down to almost 3%. Uber down 3%. That's one to buy under 70. Walmart is down 0.32. XLY is down 2%. So you want to take advantage of this pullback. Do not go balls deep. Just stick the tip in. Do a little bit of buying today. But this is the time when you want to start buying. This isn't the time when you want to start selling. Yesterday was the time when you start selling. If you felt uncomfortable yesterday, you should have sold. Do not sell into this weakness. You can wait a couple of days and see if we continue down on the path. But QQQ is still, even with this 1.78% pullback, down to 427. You're going to come down here to about 427. See that volume shelf right there at about 428? We've broken it. So where do I think we're coming down to? We may come down to this 411. But what I want you to do is try and get into long-term stuff. I want you to try and understand that Qs is not something that you trade in. TQQQ is one you trade in. SQQQ is one you trade in. SQQQ, I don't think we have a buy in SQQQ because TQQQ just crossed up. And I don't want you to buy this today. You don't have confirmation. You are up 5% at 1186. Well, you do have confirmation. 1186 is up here. It's right at that bottom volume shelf. You might have $12 in this, but I don't think it's a bad play. I think you have confirmation. I think you play this on a shorter time frame, something like the 65-minute algo. Because SQQ, I feel super, super uncomfortable in SQQQ. But in SQQQ, 65-minute, it got you in yesterday afternoon. Ironically, it got you in at 1118. Boy, where are you now? 1186, up 5%. So, yeah. But Bank of America got a cross up, and I will say this, just be careful of these cross ups, because if we are in a couple of day stretch, and it's very likely we could be in a couple of day stretch for this, you want to be careful with some of these buys. But Bank of America got a cross up here at 33.62. It's a little bit high. I'd probably would like to see you in a 32 handle. In pre-market, you're at 33.13, so wait for a 32 handle if you want this one. As far as banks go, it's not my favorite, but Bank of America is in the core portfolio. I do like it. It's the biggest one. Schlumberger, this is an energy name. It's a software name in the energy sector. It ran up, and it's just pulling back. I mean, the 50-day is just kind of moving there, but this one has pulled back. It's not a bad company. They've had their earnings. There's no real catalyst on this one, but they have a cross up. SDOW, we can talk about some of this. UVIXY got a cross up, and this was prior. Remember, this is prior to today's kind of CPI number. $7.38 is the cross up. You're at 771. You're up 5%. There's a triple levered on the VIX. Now, if you think we have a couple of days going, this might be a play for you to do. SDOW. If you think we're going down on the Dow, this is the short triple levered Dow. This got a cross up at 1710. You're at 1753. So that's a good one. One that got a cross up that I don't necessarily agree with, but I won't hate on you if you feel like you need to play this one, is NVDS. NVDS, see how it's kind of, just fluttering around here? Didn't get a huge, strong, bullish cross up, but you are up 2%. It's at 1834, which puts you slightly on the 9-day there, just below it. So you still, I wouldn't hate you if you thought, oh my God, it's crazy that we're up this much in NVIDIA. I'm going to short it. It's a 1.25 NVIDIA bear, NVDS. One that I do think is a good opportunity. And today, when it's down 10%, this one got a cross up here at 75. And you can see that button hook right there, that button hook at the bottom. And you can see the cross up here. Now, in pre-market, it's at 68. I would take a look at the weekly on this one. It's a triple levered ETF, so it's not one you want to hold on to. This is one that you want to play on a very short time frame, but I particularly think it might be a good risk reward on the regional banks. Are the regional banks going down? I don't think so. I think it's very limited to New York Bank. I think, there's a couple of banks out there that could get hurt. And maybe they start to run. But at 67, you don't have confirmation. But this is one to keep an eye on. And this is why I say, hey, keep an eye on some of these things. Now, XLU, this is utilities. Utilities have just been beaten down. You can see the last time this was a 6% gain in this one. You're down below the 200-day. Your 50-day is about to cross that. Could be a death cross. Your RSI's in no man's land. You're at 60.91. This is only down 0.6. Utilities are pretty stabilized. And I think from a long-term perspective, you've got upside opportunity. I put this range in here as a super, super long range. You can see it goes back years. But you're on the downside of this. You were just extended way, way too much. So you're on the downside of this. The last time it was down here, I was saying, hey, buy at 58. I think if you can get XLU in the 5 handle, I think you're doing well. Cisco, this is before their earnings. Cisco announces earnings, I want to say tomorrow. I think they announce February 14th after the bell. $50.02. In pre-market, you're $49.73. I think it's a $50 stock. I think if you buy at 49, I don't, this isn't one that I think is going to 100. It's not going to go to 100 on earnings. But do you have 55 in this stock? I think you do. Do you have 60 in this stock? You probably do at some point in time. I just think their last earnings that they gapped down, and they gapped down from 53 all the way down to 48. I think today at 40, if you get a 48 handle on this one, I think you take it. If you're interested in this stock, again, that's the key. If you're interested in this stock. So there's your scans. There's your stock look. Today after the bell, let's see what we have today on the earnings calendar. After the bell, we have Airbnb, we have AIG, we have Welltower. We've got MGM fresh off the Super Bowl. Tomorrow before the bell, you got Sony, you've got CME Group, you got Kraft Heinz, you got Williams Company, you've got IQV, you've got Gold, which is Barrick. And then tomorrow after the close, you have Cisco, Equinox, you have Oxy, you have Energy Transfer like we talked about. HubSpot, which I said might be a good one to play. It's priced to perfection, but understand. And then Thursday, we have Deere, we have Southern Company, we have Stellantis, we have other Applied Materials after the bell. We got DoorDash after the bell. You got DraftKings after the bell. You got Coinbase after the bell. So there's plenty of earnings coming up. I think today, let's see how the market opens. That, Meta's down 2%. I mean, there's an awful lot of red in my portfolio right now. Amazon under 170. I said this before. Costco at 716. If they announce a raise, oh my God, that one's going to take off. Boeing is at 206. That's down 1%. I mean, that's a broken company. Eli Lilly at 728. They're down 1%. They're just printing money. Netflix at 550. Get it under 550 because I think it's a $700 stock. Microsoft at 406. If this one dips down to a 3 handle, a 300, just pour into it. That's one you can go balls deep on. That's one I don't think you're going to miss out going balls deep on that one. Palantir at 23, it's down 5%. I'd still say wait on that one. I still think at some point in time that gets under 20. But Shopify at 77, I think you go all in once you have confirmation on a 5-minute. If we just look at a 5-minute candle on this one, I mean, you can see the immediate reaction on their earnings. If I go to the extended hours, let's see, extended hours, display extended hours here. You can see we still don't have confirmation. So I'd still wait on this one. You're still on your way down. I think once you get over that green line, I think you could add to it. Now, the MACD is way down here at minus 0.18. This is how you trade it. I mean, just wait for it to continue to go down. I think you're going to see just a market crash at the open. And I think you may be able to get this at 75. Do you care 2 years from now if you bought this at 77 instead of 75? No. Do you care, 10 days from now if you bought it at 75 versus 77? Yes. Time frame matters. So understand you have to identify your time frame before you get into that. So, okay. Take care. I will talk to you tomorrow. Say bye. Okay. Bum, bum, bum. I didn't go over the ads. I'll do that in the... Okay, let me look at your things. Let's see. CPI hot. Good morning, Daniel. Good morning, Rabbit Badger. Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Brandon. Good morning, Mo. Beamer at 20. Is Beamer still up? Let's see. Or did Beamer completely... Oh, God. Beamer, yeah. Beamer on the 5-minute chart, I mean, it's just been... Listen, if I didn't have this freaking podcast to do, this would be the stock that I would be all over. No, I want to go 5-minute. This would be the stock that I would be all over. Like I said, you gain confirmation. Am I buying here at 18 on 5-minute chart? Yep. 1784. Yeah. On a 5-minute chart, I'm buying it. When would you prefer volatility instead of going short? Got a baby size SPXS position. Wondering if UVIXY was the better move. Mo, I cover UVIXY, but I don't trust the VIX. Something's up with the VIX. It should be significantly higher than it is. Right now, it's up 5%. It's at 14. It should be higher than it is right now. If you get to these 20 levels, I think we get back to the 25. So I'd say you're in a good... I mean, you can see the daily range here between 12 and 15. And when we get this news, we spike up to 15. But the UVIXY, it just hasn't... UVIXY's been... I mean... Again, it's a decaying asset. SPXS, I think you're better off in SPXS, to be honest. I would rather short an index than short the VIX. And the reason I'd rather short the index versus the VIX is safety. I think you're better off shorting the index. And I only say that in that UVIXY just hasn't worked whatsoever. I mean, you look at it and the algorithm hasn't worked. I mean, if we look at the 65-minute, because this is what I would typically do on a, you can see $7.12, you're at $7.38. You do have confirmation. You might get to $7.88. You're at $7.72 right now. Yeah. I think you play it. So here's how I would play it. If you're buying at 773, UVIXY, I think I'd play it to run to about 790, and then I'd sell, take some profits once it lost confirmation, and then I'd look for it to bump back up here to 869. That's what I would do. But again, that's hoping that this starts to turn around to a little bit of a higher high and a higher low. But that's, again, you're opening up right here at 775. I think I'd play it. That might be too close to this. I mean, maybe we get some type of rally today that kind of wipes out these losses. I don't think so, but again, the first part of the trading day is tough to always tell. VCIG. What is VCIG? VCI Global. Up 72%. Yeah, this is like Beamer and OMH. It's kind of probably got a small float. You can trade it. Trade it. Consulting services. Yeah, in market cap of $38 million. It's $38 million. That is as small as you can get. I can open up a backyard office and have $38 million. Yeah. It's for me, trade it. I don't think it's going anywhere, but I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. Boy, it doesn't like that market open, does it? Let's see. We're going to go 4 hour and run. And we're going to do meta. Oh, come on. I think it's having problems with VCIG, to be honest. I think you blew up TrendSpider. Robinhood's, it's not bad. Again, I think they innovate. Look up FANG. I can if this thing ever comes back. Let's log out. Log out. And let's log back in. We'll go to default workspace and run. Okay, FANG has been, they got into a partnership. It's an energy company. Do you want to own an energy company that just ran up 10, 15%? Personally, probably not my thing. Colby, I think there's better, the one that I've owned with energy is MPLX. It's got a nice 8-9% dividend. Boy, I probably got to restart this computer. But yeah, I was thinking of buying Snow today for short term, 1-2 months, but given DataDog's weirder guidance for the next year. Snowflake has run too much, Pavan. If I can get it, I can't get stuff to pull up. So, but yeah, Snowflake has just run too much. So I'm going to go because my computer's messing up and I got to do all the stuff, and I got an 11:30 vet appointment. So you guys take care. Remember, Shopify. Shopify's my buy of the day. I think once you get confirmation on that one, I'm adding to it. It's 79 right now. Anything under 80, I think you just add to it. It's an overreaction. So Shopify's my thing. I wouldn't look at Snow today. It's just run too much. But